Dear students, welcome to the course Fashion Design Elements and Concepts. As the name says, in this course we will study about different elements and concepts of fashion. We will study about how certain elements of fashion evolved through time, how they were made and used, and how they changed with time. We will learn how an element of fashion was introduced in its basic forms, how it was innovated by international designers, and how it was adapted and put to use by various consumers. So, let us dive into the world of fashion and learn about different ways in which fashion is perceived and defined. During this course, we will review different examples seeing the work of different well-known designers and the styles of various celebrities. So, let us comprehend what fashion is. Course objectives. By the end of this course, students will be able to review the basics of fashion and its terminologies, review the concepts and elements involved in creating a fashion product, identify the various details that could be used in a garment prevailing in the fashion industry. This course comprises of 3 units. They are Unit 1 Introduction to Fashion, Unit 2 Elements, Principles and Components of Fashion Design, Unit 3 Fashion Details. Students, let's begin with Unit 1 Introduction to Fashion modules. In this unit, there are 2 modules. They are Module 1 Definitions of Fashion and Module 2 Fashion Terminologies. Unit objectives. By the end of this unit, students will be able to review the definitions of fashion, review fashion terminologies. Definitions of fashion. In the society concerning a particular way of dressing and lifestyle. A style that is accepted and used by the majority of group at one time. The group can be big or small. For example, during the 1970s, women in India wore shapely and body-hugging suits. Fashion, in the narrow sense of the word, means changing form of clothing. It originates from people's need to be admired and indicates a position in the society. Let us watch the fashion show of Louis Vuitton, a well-known fashion designer.
We've waited for this day. We shed some tears of love now, like a desert in the rain. When sun of the dead are waking up, yeah. There's nobody like my moon. There's no place like my home since I was born. When I was young, the flavor is so strong. I've missed it so long now.
us take an example of a fashion trend during the 1970s. Bell bottom pants was a fashion in the 1970s. Women in India wore shapely and body hugging suits, mostly inspired by movie actresses. The fishtail eye makeup was another trend of the 1970s. All this was considered as fashion because during this particular time, being fashionable means to dress up in such a way, that is, in bell bottoms and with fish eye makeup, etc. Otherwise, it was considered unfashionable or old fashioned. Such fashion generally evolves through common acceptance by a group of people. This group can be large or small. Large as in an entire country or just a small group. We may wonder how such particular styles get into acceptance. To tell in short, these trends are set by celebrities, designers, actors and actresses, and finally copied by the common man. We can see pictures of Western women in the 1970s. The bell bottom pants was common among both men and women. In the picture, we can also note that all the women are sporting a shoulder length hairstyle, which was another fashion trait during that time, whereas their Indian counterparts had long hair and tied it in a high bun at the back. The picture on the left, we can see all three women sporting bell-bottom pants in solid colors teamed with tops in feeder stripes. They all have shoulder-length hairstyles, which was another fashion trait during that time, whereas the Indian counterparts, as said earlier, had long hair and tied it in a high bun. In the picture on the right, we can again spot the bell bottom pants in different colors and closed necklines. Solid tops and shoulder length hair can also be seen. We can also see that the trousers are high waisted and secured within a thin belt. Previously, when we studied the different definitions of fashion, we came across the words changing form of clothing. Let us delve into it in detail, or in other words, let us see what fashion cycle is. A fashion cycle is a term used to describe the process that a certain type of fashion goes through. A certain trend or fashion does not come in all of a sudden. Throughout the years, it undergoes minor changes and evolves slowly. For example, as we already saw, the bell bottoms in 1970s slowly evolved and in present also used in fashion. Let us look at some of the evidences. The picture on the left shows a bell bottom pant from Bofi Fall 2017 ready to wear collection. Bofi is the right pronunciation, is a French word that translates to beautiful girl. It is a Canadian ready to wear and accessory line founded by sisters Chloe and Paris Gordon. The picture shows a bell-bottom trouser with an attractive print. The picture on the right is a bell-bottom trouser designed by Tom Ford for Gucci. Gucci is an Italian luxury brand of fashion and leather goods. Tom Ford is the creative director of Gucci since 1999. This trouser, which we are seeing in the picture, is made out of velvet fabric and also has an interesting print. The picture that we see now is from Jill Stewart Spring Summer 2018 Resort Collection. Jill Stewart is an American fashion designer based in New York City, where he has been operating since 1988. She established her clothing label under her name since 1993. This picture shows a bell-bottom trouser that looks almost similar to the one used in 1970s in an interesting printed fabric. The picture on the right is from Alice and Olivia Spring 2017 Ready to Wear collection. Alice and Olivia is a New York based contemporary clothing company. Designer Stacy Bendett is the CEO and creative director. In the picture, we can see interesting embroidery on a bell bottom. Bootcut would be the appropriate term to be used here for this kind of trouser, as the bottom has less amount of flare and fitted at the thigh, whereas a bell bottom in the 1970s was loose fit at the thighs and more flared at the bottom. This is a picture from the collection of Ellery pre-fall 2017. Ellery is known for its voluminous silhouettes, innovative fabrications and nostalgic shapes that have been reinvented for the modern woman. The picture we see shows an interesting variation of the bell-bottom pants. It is well fitted at the knee and then has a dramatic flare at the bottom. The picture on the right shows a bell-bottom pant with an interesting texture to the fabric. It contains patches of laser cut fabric sewn together. Thus, we have seen that fashion changes gradually and constantly with time. It is an evolving cycle. This picture shows bell-bottom pants available for sale at Le Mouton Bleu. You can go through their website at www.lemoutonbleu.com. The second picture shows a bell-bottom trouser from Nordstrom. Nordstrom is an American chain of luxury department stores with its headquarters in Seattle. The third picture shows the American fashion model Gigi Hadid supporting the same style by wearing a bell-bottom pant in stylish pink. This picture was taken by a photographer as she arrives at the Vogue Eyewear launch in New York. Fashion cycle. Fashion cycle is the lifespan of a certain fashion from its time of introduction to its disappearance, only to reappear in a slightly different form after a certain period of time. When a customer purchases and wears a certain style, the style is considered accepted. The acceptance leads to the style becoming fashion. The following graph will explain this in detail. Fashion cycle. Let us see what is a fashion cycle in detail. From the time of introduction to its disappearance, a style reappears in a slightly different form after a certain period of time. Let us have a look at the graph here. A style is introduced when it is generally worn by actors or actresses in a movie, or shown in fashion shows by international designers, or manufactured and introduced by retailers. It then slowly gains popularity, resulting in lots of sales. This is the acceptance phase when the style is at its peak of popularity. Next comes the rejection phase, where there is a decline in demand, generally because another style has taken its place and people are trying something new and are bored with the current style. But it does not stop there. After the rejection phase, it usually resurfaces in a slightly different form. Like how we saw previously, the bell-bottom trousers, which was loose fitting at the thighs and had a lot of flair in the 1970s, came back with more fitted trousers at the thighs but with a slight amount of flair, and now it is called as bootcut trousers. Here is yet another example. When we spoke about shoulder length hairstyles followed by Western women in the 1970s, we also spoke about long hairstyles by their Indian counterparts, as we see in the images here. The picture on the left shows a hairstyle that is intricately made up into a bun and decorated with flowers on one side of the head. This style was more popular in South India. Long hair was considered as beautiful. The picture in the middle again shows a woman with long hairstyle and with her hair held high and braided. Please note that the braid is also decorated with strands of flowers. We can spot the same on the third picture. This type of style is called bouffant. We can define bouffant as a type of hairstyle characterized by hair raised high on the head and usually covering the ears or hanging on the sides. Let us see some more examples of bouffant hairstyle. The picture on the left shows Indian actress Sharmila Tagore's bouffant hairstyle and winged eyeliner, which were the most fashionable trends during the late 60s and continued throughout 1970s. Also is a picture of actress Saira Banu, who was very famous in Bollywood. We can see that she is also sporting a similar hairstyle. The first picture is that of the current day's famous actress Kangna in the movie Once Upon a Time in Mumbai. We can again spot the bouffant style in a modern approach. The middle picture is that of a model wearing a dress designed by designer Oscar de la Renta in 1967. Oscar de la Renta is a Dominican American fashion designer who started his work in the 1967. The house of Oscar de la Renta is still a well-known name worldwide. In the picture, we can see the bouffant hairstyle and an attire inspired clearly from the Orient. The third picture shows a hairstyle for a wedding outfit. We can see a slight raise of hair or a slight bouffant, which is clearly inspired by the 1970s. Apart from the bouffant style, let us have a look at the eye makeup. It has a distinct winged look, another style that was in acceptance during the 1970s. The picture on the right also shows the same. We should also note that the eyeliner was used heavily on the upper part of the eye, giving a tail, and the lower part had very minimal usage of the eyeliner. This style was also called the cat eye. In this picture, we can see hair held high in the form of a bun, or in other words, similar to the bouffant hairstyle. The actress has also adorned her hair with flowers placed on one side of the head. Also, please note that the eye has winged shaped eyeliners. The picture shows other form of cat eye style used by women of today. It does not end there. Women of today have made it more attractive and creative. We can see how the cat eye style has been innovated in different ways. The first picture shows a winged eyeliner in a simple form. The tail is not too long but is complemented with glittery eyeshadows. The second picture, we can spot many wings and also two colors, a black and a glittery blue. We can also see it decorated with dots. This has been so artistically done that the eyes resembles the shape of a decorated fish. The third picture shows yet another interesting way in which the eyeliner has been used. We can see two wings made thick when it starts and ends elegantly into a thin line. This is another interesting variation of the fishtail eye makeup. To cite another but very recent example is the usage of thick frames for spectacles, where once people opted for rimless and thin frames. There was a time when thick frames came into fashion. Especially in today's world, the cat eye shape is common among youngsters. As we see in the picture on the left, the girl is wearing rimless spectacles. While this was considered fashion some years ago, now if we look at the picture on the right, we can see the young girl wearing thick framed cat eye glasses. This is now considered fashionable, and this trend would also change with time. From this, we can again prove that fashion is constantly changing and evolving. Let us look at one more example of how fashion is constantly changing and evolving. The picture on the left shows aviator shaped and also square shaped glasses. The picture on the right shows similar shapes of eyewear from Tommy Hilfiger collection. Also, the most popular Lenskart sells aviator shaped eyeglasses today. The first picture shows big sized sunglasses of the 1970s. It is a collage of different glasses used in this period. We can see interesting shapes in different colors. The second picture shows Leslie Lawless, an English model, actress and singer, well known with her nickname Twiggy. She was a prominent model during the swinging 60s. She is also wearing circular shaped sunglasses. The circular shape was another fashion trend during this period. The third picture shows an elegant hexagonal shaped glasses. The fourth picture is of Elvis Presley, who is an American singer, musician, and actor. He was regarded as one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century. He is often referred as the king of rock and roll. We can see that Elvis Presley is also wearing aviator shaped thick framed glasses. In this picture is an oversized brown clear gradient sunglasses with rosy brown lenses from Balenciaga dating to the 1970s. The picture in the middle shows a page in an old Vogue magazine. Vogue is one of the leading fashion magazines in the world. The third picture shows a picture of Elton John, who is an English singer and composer. Please note that the sunglasses worn by Elton John have very interesting decoration with feathers around the glasses. Thus, we see that oversized glasses in different shapes like circle, square, aviator were very much in fashion from 60s to the 70s. This is a picture of Jacqueline Kennedy, who was the wife of the then President of the United States, Mr. John F. Kennedy. The First Lady has always been under the fashion scope. We can see that in this picture she is wearing a Ted Lapidus sunglasses in the 1970s. Edward Ted Lapidus was a French fashion designer. So far, we went through oversized sunglasses back in the 60s and 70s. Now, let us see how the style has evolved into present day fashion. Some of the well-known designers have accessorized their fashion collection with such eyeglasses inspired by the 70s. The first picture has the prominent circle shape that we have been seeing previously. Also, we saw that model Twiggy had worn similar circular shaped glasses back in the 1967. Now, this picture that we see here was exhibited in Paris Fashion Week for fall winter 2012 and 2013. The next picture is from Milan Fashion Week fall 2011, done by Gucci. Gucci is a well-known Italian fashion brand. If you observe this picture carefully, we can note that the whole look has a balanced usage of brown and purple colors, including the glasses. The model is wearing a brown hat with a purple sash, a purple dress with a brown fur coat, and do not miss the brown glasses worn by her. The third picture has a dramatic frame matching to the clothing worn by the model. It is from Anna Sui's collection at New York Fashion Week, fall 2015. We can see yet another of Louis Vuitton's eyewear in cat eye shape, studded with stone for fall winter 2012-13 at Paris Fashion Week. The second picture is from Marni Spring 2016 collection. Marni is another very well known Italian luxury fashion label. The third picture is from Stella McCartney Spring Summer 2014 ready to wear. Page 27. The first picture shows Gucci sunglasses from Spring 2013. It has an attractive pink color matching to the outfit worn by the model. The second picture is from Spring Summer 2016 Trussardi. Trussardi is an Italian fashion house found in 1911. So far, we have seen few fashion styles and also spoken about few fashion designers. What do we conclude from all this? Fashion designers innovated what was there from ancient times or sometimes invented their own style. They sometimes innovated basics into style products and celebrities adopted it, and in turn it was copied by masses. In understanding fashion and fashion cycle, we can infer that the renowned fashion designers, celebrities like actors, actresses and politicians and other public faces directly or indirectly act as trendsetters. They are the catalysts for a particular style to become popular, which in turn is adopted in various forms by different consumers, and thus we call this as fashion. Conclusion. So far, we have seen few fashion styles in ancient and current times, also learnt about few designers who innovated basics into styled products and celebrities who adopted it and later on copied by masses. In understanding fashion and fashion cycle, we can infer that the renowned fashion designers, celebrities like actors, actresses and politicians and other public faces directly or indirectly act as trendsetters. They are the catalysts for a particular style to become popular, which in turn is adopted in various forms by different consumers, and this we call it as fashion.